Well, Tranona Mahagweva Corja Galer, Falches Kegadi, Port Nagale, Conclehe, Kianish, Pell, Limnock. It's the Limerick County Senior Football Championship final Sunday, and Newcastle West and Adare meet this afternoon to decide who's going to be crowned 2017 champions. Newcastle West, of course, champions of 2 seasons back. Adare looking for their first ever County Senior Football Championship title here at the Gaelic Grounds this afternoon. At the start of the year, well, not many people would have predicted that it would be, if it were to be an all-West affair, that it would be Newcastle West and Adare. Many people would have thought the Magpies would certainly be here, but Adare, I think, the surprise package of this year's County Senior Football Championship, but deserving of their place here as a result of victories over the course of the group stages, and of course that wonderful semi-final victory against Drumcolliher Broadford 3 weeks ago this afternoon in Kilmallock. The two sides are out, the conditions absolutely perfect for football, the pitch rather heavy underfoot considering the rain that has fallen over the course of the last week or so, but no real breeze of any significance. A slight breeze blowing from left to right as we watch it here from our commentary perch high in the Mick Mackey stand, and as I say, the two teams going through their warm-up routines. Adare to our left hand side, Newcastle West to our right hand side, and the pipe band beneath us providing the ambience that you would expect on County Senior Football final day. Matt O'Callaghan of the Vale Star Weekly Observer alongside me in the commentary box this afternoon. For obvious reasons, Matt, I'm looking forward to this afternoon's final. You are too, though, I know.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it, Liam. I can understand why you would be looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward because I have been excited by these two teams right through the campaign, and I have seen them quite a bit. Now, you were right there in your introduction when you were talking about Adare being the surprise packet. Like, if there was a forecast at the start of the year that we were going to have an all-West final, I think very few people would have come up with and suggested that Adare would be one of the finalists, because certainly as a team promoted from intermediate, one would have been expecting that the sole aim of Adare in their first year was consolidation and to stay in the competition. But to dig a small bit deeper behind why Adare are here, and we'll talk about Newcastle West in a second. You must remember they were relegated at the end of 2015. They were beaten in the relegation final by Rathkeil down in Askeaton. And for any club to be relegated and a relegation final day, and when you lose out, it's a bleak day. But they set about immediately. They set about rebuilding that club and rebuilding that team. And they went on later that year, you will remember, they defeated Na Piarsaigh here in a very good novel premier under 21 football championship, and that obviously was the catalyst. Now, Harry Gleeson came in last year and his backroom team, and you would have to say that they actually took the intermediate championship by storm. They were not just one of those teams that went down and wallowed on their fate or on their hard luck that they were relegated. There was a positive mindset from the start. They went through the whole campaign last year unbeaten. And you must remember, Liam, that this year they have maintained it. They have translated that type of form into the senior championship this year. All right, they ended up their 5-match campaign with just 6 points, but it was from 2 wins and 2 draws. They have only suffered 1 defeat right through in the last 2 years. So this is the type of quality that they're bringing. They're a young side, they're a side that are full of running, and they're a side that are playing without fear.
Well, the captains have just had the coin toss with referee Johnny Murphy. Shane Doherty and Stephen Nix. Adare have won the toss and have opted to play from left to right in the opening half, favoured by whatever breeze there is here this afternoon. But it's not much, the breeze, Matt, compared to what it was yesterday for the junior hurling decider when I was here. The breeze isn't as significant today.
No, well, if this time yesterday you could not possibly have expected or countenanced that we would have the type of conditions that we have today, because they're near pitch perfect down there. Absolutely, we were down on the pitch before we came up here for the minor game, and certainly conditions are not going to be a factor that is going to hamper either side. They're ideal for an open, good game of football.
Sure are. The coin toss, as I say, has taken place, and Adare have won it and play from left to right as we watch it here. Let's give you team news then ahead of this afternoon's county final. And Adare line out with James Hickey in goals, a full back line of Oran Collins, Aegon O'Connor and Owen Costello, Owen Ryan, David Connolly and Paul Maher, the half-back line, with Shane Doherty captaining the side wearing number 8 and Stephen Keeley at number 9. Neil Mulvihill, Jack English and Hughie Barker, the half-forward line, with Mark Connolly, Robbie Burke and Mikey Lyons, the inside forward line. I suppose the headlines that Adare made this year, Matt, were certainly, as you say, getting through the group stages and that huge victory they had over Drumcolour Broadford in the semi-final, where they absolutely annihilated them, is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, what I think about it there, they got through the group stages, but once they got to the knockout stages, they went up a considerable notch because they drew with Ballylanders in the quarter-final. Ballylanders were extremely lucky to get a draw with it there that day because they outplayed them for the most part, but they conceded some soft goals on the day because Ballylanders' final tally on that day was 4-4. Now they rectified that in the replay, and they really blew Ballylanders out of the water in the replay, and as you say, they blew Drumcolour Broadford in the semi-final. Now Drum Broadford had beaten them in the third round of the group stages, so like Ballylanders and Drum Broadford have been two of the dominant forces in Limerick football for the last 20 years. And here is this team coming from nowhere, and are perceived as being coming from nowhere, and they literally blow both of them out of the water. So like, they're coming here today with a certain amount of pedigree. They must be coming here today with no end of confidence.
They sure must. Let's give you the Newcastle West side then. It sees Andrew Ruddle in goals, a full back line of Mike O'Keefe, Brian O'Sullivan and Sean Brown. Mike O'Leary, Stephen Nixon, Paul Hannon are the half back line, with Mike McMahon and Ian Corbett at midfield. Thomas Quilligan, Stephen Kelly and Sean Murphy are the half forward line, with Jamie Lee, Jamesy Kelly and Cian Sheehan the inside forward line for Newcastle West. Newcastle West started the championship campaign, Matt, in a whirlwind, really, putting up huge scores in the opening two games. They scored 9 goals and 26 points in their opening 2 games. Everybody made them odds-on favourites, even at that stage, for the county championship, but reverted to type somewhat for the remainder of the championship.
Yeah, there was a school of thought that the KC Cup should have been given to them after the second round. They looked so impressive with 9-26. Now, I actually didn't see either of those 2 games, but I saw the next 2, which were totally different in Newcastle West. Like the third round against Ballysteen, they seemed to have a comfortable lead, seemed to be in a match-winning position, but retreated behind the ball, went back into their shell, allowed Ballysteen to come at them, and Ballysteen, lo and behold, got a draw out of it. The next day against Ula in the fourth round, they started very poorly, some desperate defending in the first half. Richie English was in smashing form. He scored 3 goals for Ula. Ula went in at half time, 9 points to the good. In the first 20 minutes of the second half, Newcastle West scored 1-7 without reply to go ahead, and immediately, like you turn a switch, they retreated into their shell, allowed Ula to come at them, and Ula nicked the victory. Now, I didn't see him in the final round against St. Kieran's, but I thought, I'm hearing that in that 5th round, the game against Kieran's more reflected their performance against St. Pat's and Ballylanders in the first 2 rounds than it did against Ballysteen and Ula. Now, in the semi-final, we saw the semi-final up in Kilmallock with Monaleen, and you would have to say that they were pretty convincing without being totally convincing in defeating Monaleen, the outgoing champions. And certainly, I suppose if you reflect on that game, had Monaleen been a bit more clinical on the day, there would certainly been a greater test of Newcastle West. But Liam, starting out every year at the start of the campaign, and if you compare the relative squads of the various teams that are in the competition, you would have to come down on the side of Newcastle West every year. They have an extremely strong squad. It's built on some very fine experienced players. It's built on success at underage level, at minor and under 21 level. Like, certainly they have a serious squad of players, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how they approach this game today. And I would expect that they will come out all guns blazing, I would imagine, to try and dent the confidence of Adare and to prevent Adare certainly getting into their stride.
Well, the first 10-15 minutes, I suppose, is probably going to be key in this game because, the conditions are absolutely ideal, and many people saw what Adare did, and people, a lot of neutrals who are downstairs that I met are really looking forward to this final because they feel they're two attack-minded teams that might go out and produce a cracking game of football.
Yeah, I think because of the lead into it, you're absolutely right, Liam. And I met him, and I have been down at half time in the minor game and down between the games. I believe there may be a certain amount of the attendance here today that wouldn't be here other than that they were expecting an exciting game from two exciting teams.
Well, whether we'll get it or not, time will tell, but I suppose if you're a Newcastle West supporter or an Adare supporter, you don't care how you get over the line, just once you get over the line, just like the Premier Minor Football Final, which was the curtain raiser here, wasn't by any means, any stretch of the imagination, a classic, but Mungret St. Paul's don't care because they defeated Monaleen in that Premier Minor Football Championship final, and they don't care how they did it, Matt, and at the end of the day, in county final day, it's all about getting the result.
Well, it's all about who goes up and claims the silverware afterwards. Like, they only scored 1 point in the first half, and that was in the 32nd minute, the second minute of injury time in the first half, but they still won the game. Now I suppose it's a consolation for them because they're doing great work out in Mungret. They were in both Premier finals, they lost the hurling final, so I suppose it's some consolation for them.
Well, before we go any further, we're going to stand here at Park Nangale this afternoon for the playing of the national anthem, Around the Veen, ahead of the 2017 County Senior Football Championship final, the Irish Wire Products County Senior Football Championship. Let's stand for the playing of the national anthem, Around the Veen. Well, at the start of every year, it's where every club, when they contest senior championship, want to be, here on county final day. And for this afternoon, it's Adare and Newcastle West who will contest it. Who's going to win it, Matt?
I would have to say that I expect that Newcastle West will win it. They probably have the greater experience. But look, and this is not sitting on the fence. What Adare to do it wouldn't surprise me. The important thing for Adare, Liam, is to play the game, not the occasion. I think that's going to be hugely important. There's quite a lot of excitement down there underneath us here now. A lot of excited. I met a few people from Adare now, quite excited about the game. And I think it's awfully important that they focus on the game rather than the occasion from the time that Johnny Murphy will throw in the ball.
Well, as Matt says, referee Johnny Murphy, he took charge of the Junior A football or the Junior A hurling final yesterday here at the Gaelic grounds in storm-like conditions. That game finished level and will be replayed on Friday night. He's back here 24 hours later to take charge of the Irish Wire Products County Senior Football Championship final of 2017. Adare and Newcastle West as the teams make their way towards their respective positions. Quite a few positional switches from either side, but we're underway, and straight away Mike McMahon wins it from the throw-in for Newcastle West. Off towards Ian Corbett, the Limerick Senior Football captain, the banished door of the Limerick Senior Football team in the box next door to us, watching from on high as Ian Corbett lays this off towards Mike McMahon. Ball sent inside now, finds Jamie Lee. He's 21 out from goal. It's picked off the ground, says referee Johnny Murphy. First free of the county final goes the way of Adare, and an opportunity for them from their own 45-yard line to work this one clear. Pass out near side of the field. First taste of action for Owen Ryan. Now towards towards David Connolly, who in turn finds Neil Mulville, who had such a fine game against Drumcollar Broadford. Goes to ground, Stephen Kelly in, wins possession of it for Newcastle West, looks up and plays this ball inside. Mike McMahon operating now at full forward, it looks like at this moment in time, has the ball, lays it back as far as Paul Hannon, near side of the field, a couple in from the sideline. Hannon's crossfield ball, tries to find Thomas Quilligan, cut out by Adare, and away they come with it now with Jack English back in his own 45-yard line. Long ball sent inside, that's one there and brought forward by Mikey Lyons on towards the attacking 45-yard line. Good opening to this game so far. Lyons lays this one off, the kick goes in, and the kick goes in and over the crossbar. Hughie Burke gets the first score of the County Senior Football Championship final. It comes a minute and 15 seconds into the game, but I'll tell you what, Matt O'Callaghan, it's been a lively minute 15. Cracking start.
Cracking start. Newcastle West made the early running in the first 30 seconds, but once they got into their stride, and see the way they spread it wide and spread it at pace. Once Jack English got it in a defensive position, he opened it up completely, and that was an excellent, well taken point by Hugh Burke. A huge point for Adare. Big help to settle him down.
Andrew Ruddle's kick out breaks around the middle of the field, where Jamesy Kelly wins possession of it for Newcastle West. The referee said he's been fouled. It's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West, just on their own defensive 65-yard line. And Mike McMahon, who seems to be marauding between midfield and full forward, as he has done for most of the season, is at it again as Ian Corbett plays this one now past halfway towards the attacking 65, off towards Cian Sheehan in possession of it towards the attacking 45-yard line now. Hand pass finds Stephen Nix, who missed the semi-final victory against Monaleen with a broken finger, lays this off as far as Stephen Kelly, and Kelly trying to burst his way through. It's been some servant to Stephen Kelly, kicks this with the left boot. Oh, that's a beautiful score. Absolutely top class from Stephen Kelly, and we're level at a point apiece.
Yeah, that absolutely. This was Stephen Kelly at his best, rallying his side, taking a leadership position. They had fallen behind early on, and that was an absolutely excellent score.
Well, what a cracking start to this football final. A point apiece inside the opening 3 minutes as the kick out is won by Adare, and away they come with it now down the far side. Owen Costello, the referee, has spotted pulling and dragging. Owen Costello was on the defensive 65-yard line, and Johnny Murphy has awarded a free the whole way in on the 21-yard line, and he wants to have a word with Brian O'Sullivan as well, I think. And Brian O'Sullivan is in a bit of trouble there for pulling and dragging off the ball. Referee Johnny Murphy working well with his umpires, it has to be said. I think it was the umpires that called it inside there, drew the referee's attention to it, and well, they've worked well together on that occasion. And Adare now have a free dead straight in front of the post, 13 yards out from goal, and an opportunity for them to take the lead again and go back in front at 2 points to 1, point apiece at this moment in time. And here is the opportunity now, dead straight in front of the post. It's in and it's over the crossbar, and it's Hugh Burke that gets that one as well. He's second, Adare's second point of the game, but officials working well there together, Matt, to spot that free and give the free in.
Yeah, because the actual play was back almost in the Adare 45-metre line when the referee whistled up and ran all the way down to the Newcastle West 20-metre line.
Kick out, sent down the centre of the field. It's Adare that win possession of it there now, and it's Hughie Burke that has possession of it. Hand pass doesn't go to hand, and back goes Mike O'Leary trying to win possession. Referee said O'Leary's been foul free for Newcastle West, taken short to James E. Kelly. Both teams looking to attack here now as they come near side of the field. It's Ian Corbett past halfway, has support from Stephen Kelly, still going Ian Corbett, the gloves out of his shorts in the back there as he plays this one now towards Sean Murphy, down the far side to Mike McMahon, and McMahon bounces the ball 45 yards out from goal, back towards Ian Corbett, takes this one towards the 21-yard line, still going Corbett, inside now, finds Thomas Quilligan, beautiful pass towards Jamie Lee 13 yards out, the shorts were being pulled, he gets the shot in and gets it over the crossbar. Sides are level at 2 points apiece. For a brief half a second it looked as though Jamie Lee could have a bit of space for a goal, but he's decided to put it over the crossbar. 2 points apiece, level game.
Yeah, I think, Liam, those that were expecting an exciting game, certainly for the first 5 minutes, have certainly got it, no question about it.
Kick out one in the middle of the field. It's Mike O'Keefe that has possession of it. Thomas Quilligan has gone down with a head injury, so the referee is going to have to stop play. It was Mike O'Keefe, I think a couple of players, Mike O'Leary, Thomas Quilligan and Mike O'Keefe went up for possession of that. In fact, it's Cian Sheehan that's down receiving treatment across on the far side. And I suppose interesting to note that Keane went to America for a good bit of the summer. It coincided with Newcastle West's poor run, I suppose, if you're like, in the championship, in terms of the way they didn't. He's a big fulcrum in terms of the Newcastle West attack.
Yeah, we've spoken about it time and again, Liam. He's an integral and a critical part of the Newcastle West team. His ball carrying skills, he adds so much to it, and he's out there now. He's been on the ball. We're less than 6 minutes. He's been on it 3 or 4 times, and he's already making an impact. And certainly, thankfully, he's back on his feet. And it would be a major blow to Newcastle West to lose Cian Sheehan, but there's no. He seems quite okay.
It's an indirect free because it's a free for being in possession. So Stephen Kelly takes it short to Mike O'Keefe, who gives it in turn to Jamesy Kelly. Ball in towards Mike McMahon. 13 out from goal towards Thomas Quilligan. He's blocked down. 21 out from goal. Mike McMahon manages to get a palm down towards Thomas Quilligan again, broken away from him, and back goes Hugh Burke trying to win possession of it. His hand pass. There's a couple of Newcastle West men around him to try and win possession of it. In goes Stephen Kelly. Nobody can win it cleanly, and eventually Jamesy Kelly gets his hands in it. The referee has said he was foul. It's going to be a free, or in fact the Adare player picked the ball off the ground, so it's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West. 25 yards out from goal, and well, an opportunity for them to go into the lead for the first time what would be this afternoon. Thomas Quilligan throws a blade of grass into the air and sees that the breeze, the slight breeze that it is, blowing into his face as Thomas Quilligan lines up this free, kicking it to the goal away to our left hand side. He comes up and kicks this. It's in from Thomas Quilligan, and as you would expect, it is right between the uprights. So 3 points to 2. Newcastle West go into the lead for the first time in the county football final, and the stopwatch says 7.5 minutes played.
Yeah, I think that came after the first bit of real scrappy play that we had. There was a bit of a scrum stroke maul over there, and eventually the Adare player infringed.
Adare goes short with the kick out from James Hickey to Owen Costello. The referee has said Costello has picked it off the ground, and it's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West. And Adare have struggled in kickouts in the championship so far. They did as well against Drumcolor Broadford, and they've started with giving a free away that time.
Yeah, that was it was certainly a needless free and almost a silly free to give away at this point, and this is a chance for Jamie Lee to go 4-2 up, and certainly this wouldn't have been in the script for Adare.
He's on the 21 as Jamie Lee strikes that one in and over the crossbar. Good point for Jamie Lee. Double scores then, and after being a point to 0 down inside the opening minute, Newcastle West now lead 4 points to 2, and Jamie Lee gets his second point of the afternoon. First from a free. We've 8.5 minutes played of the opening half. Double scores, 4-2 as the kick out from Adare comes towards this near stand side of the field, and again it goes out over this near stand side and gone for a line ball for Newcastle West.
Yeah, this is the second one out in quick succession that has gone completely astray. But Jamie Lee was in irresistible form. You will remember Liam in the semi-final. He's in a rich vein of form at the moment, and he's a critical part for Newcastle West. And the last thing that Adare can afford to be doing is to be giving him frees.
Paul Maher to Jack English now for Adare, back inside their own half as they come forward with this one now again with Paul Maher on towards the 65-yard line. Long ball sent inside, well gathered in there. Referee has said Jamesy Kelly has fouled Mark Connolly. Connolly came out, and Jamesy Kelly, the referee has said, went in with the closed fist on Mark Connolly to try and knock the ball out of his possession, and the referee Johnny Murphy from Ballylanders has awarded the free going in favour of Adare, and an opportunity for them to cut the gap to just one again. Beautiful sunny afternoon here at the Gaelic grounds. Fine a tad on the cold side, and a slight breeze blowing from left to right favouring Adare in the opening half, but ideal conditions for this game. Adare scored on the 4th minute with a Hugh Burke free. We're now playing 10 minutes. Is this to be Hugh Burke's third point and Adare's third point of the County Senior Football Championship? Finally kicks this with the right boot inside the left hand upright it goes and over the crossbar, and Hughie Burke gets his third point of the game, Adare's third point. He's second from a free, and Adare back to within 1 of Newcastle West, 4 points to 3. The stopwatch 10 minutes exactly gone.
Right, yeah, we saw it, I think, in the semi-final. We definitely saw it in the quarter-final. Any frees within any reasonable range, Hugh Burke is quite capable of making them count.
Kick out is won by Newcastle West as they come on the attack with this one with Sean Brown. Beautiful ball up towards Mike O'Leary down the far side of the field. Good move here for Newcastle West as O'Leary is onto the edge of the semicircle. Support from Thomas Quilligan out on this near side. A bit too much on it for Paul Hannon though. And well, Paul Hannon is tall enough lad, but he'd want to be about 8 foot high in order to keep that ball in from Thomas Quilligan. And the ball has come out over this near stand sideline and gone for a line ball in favour of Adare, which they're going to take from their own 21. They've given it straight to Stephen Kelly, and Kelly decides to have a pot at this one. He's going to drop it in around the square. Mike McMahon puts up the fist. Mike O'Leary is in there too, but it's won by Owen Ryan for Adare, and the Adare man towards Mikey Lyons across on the far side of the field, sets off on a run from his own defensive 65 on halfway. He's held up there and opts to hand pass this one towards Oren Collins, who's come from corner back. His attempted hand pass blocked by Paul Hannon. Adare go in to try and win possession of it. Foul on Hugh Burke on his own 65 yard line. Referee has awarded a free. The free going in favour of Adare, and Johnny Murphy just wants the football back again. I think he's claiming that ball is a small little bit on the soft side, so he's looking for a new football. And Johnny Murphy, he was a fair man to kick a point or kick football himself. I was going to say back in the day, but it's not that long ago.
No, it's not that long ago. It's about 2 years ago. I think he's retired, and he has a couple of county medals to show for his efforts.
And he won one of them out in Newcastle West as well. You might recall, Matt.
I do.
I know you recall.
I will recall very well, actually, Liam.
You certainly do. As the free for Adare is taken, and David Connolly has possession of it. Now towards Jack English. Back to Connolly, right in the halfway line as English again plays this one towards the far side of the field, where it's won by Shane Doherty, the captain of the Adare side. Will he be going up the steps to claim the Father Casey Cup, or will it be Stephen Nix come about 5:15 this evening, or will we be back here in a couple of weeks' time to decide who exactly it is, as the ball is in the hands of Jack English down the far side of the field now towards Owen Costello. Forward towards the attacking 45 yard line. Adare held up with initial break, but going forward is Robbie Burke again. He's lost possession of it, and the ball is played back, and in goes Sean Murphy, and then again it gets a bit scrappy as Adare gathered possession of it for that one and lay it towards Owen Costello. Further back now, right in the halfway line, Costello plays it towards Egon O'Connor, and O'Connor on the defensive 65 yard line towards Neil Mulvihill, just on halfway now. Mulvihill looks up, a wall of black jerseys in front of him. Newcastle West with 14 men behind the ball now, as away come Owen Costello and Adare on towards the attacking 45 yard line again. They hold up possession of it. They did this against Drumcolour Broadford to some effect as well, where they just went with the patient build up as David Connolly goes forward with this. The movement breaks down though, because he's given it straight to Thomas Quilligan, who just about finds Mike McMahon with the hand pass, and James E. Kelly lays it towards Stephen Kelly. Back to Mike McMahon, now towards Stephen Nix, and Nix inside his own 65 yard line. The bandage on the right knee of Stephen Nix off towards Paul Hannon. Hannon passed halfway towards the attacking 65. Good move by Paul Hannon. Mike McMahon calls for it. It's won by Ian Corbett though. Corbett on towards the edge of the semicircle. Now finds Jamie Lee. Lee kicks this with the left boot. Is it going to curl? It is beautifully curled inside the left hand upright. A fine point from Jamie Lee, and Newcastle West lead by 2, 5 points to 3.
Yeah, Liam, not just the execution, which was excellent from the part of Jamie Lee, but the build up to that was excellent. They actually frustrated it there by funneling men behind the ball and forced the error into there, and they hit him on the counter attack and hit him at pace, with purpose, with cohesion and efficiency. And the finish from Jamie Lee, absolutely clinical. We've said it in the semi-final, we've said it already today. The guy is bang in form at the moment.
5-3 then, Newcastle West lead here in the opening half of the Irish Wire Products County Senior Football Final. A game on Limerick's Live 95 FM in association with Limerick Motor Centre, main Hyundai dealers in the Ballysimon Road. Cian Sheehan off towards Ian Corbett. Corbett racing through onto the 21, onto 13. Shot from Ian Corbett is in and over the crossbar. But you saw what Newcastle West did there. They won the kick out, and Ian Corbett just put on the burners and ran at the heart of the Adare defence and put it over the crossbar. 6-3.
The kick out is proving to be an Achilles heel for Adare. They are having difficulty from the kick out. That's the third one, I think, that has really gone astray now, and they are being punished for it.
Kick out is sent down the centre of the field. This time it works out for them as Stephen Keeley gathers possession of it for Adare. Off on the far side towards Mikey Lyons, who races up the far sideline, takes on James E. Kelly, left the football behind him. Stephen Nix goes in with a tackle. Wasn't the best of tackles now by Stephen Nix, and the referee has awarded a free going in favour of Adare across on that far uncovered stand side of the Gaelic grounds, about 40 yards out from the goal, and Hughie Burke is coming out to take this one. 6 points to Newcastle West, 3 points to Adare in the Irish Wire Products County Senior Football Championship final of 2017. 15 and a half minutes played, so we're at the midway point of the opening half here, and play to resume with a free for Adare across on the far side of the field. Hugh Burke to take this one. He's about 10 in from the far sideline, midway between the 21 and the 45. Newcastle West send a couple of subs out to warm up, as indeed do Adare to our left hand side as well, as Hugh Burke kicks this with the right boot. Is it going to curl inside the left hand upright? It's not, it's gone to the left hand side and wide, and the umpire on that far side, it looks like Mike Mead. I'm not sure if it is fully him or not, but it certainly has the look of him, says that it's gone to the left hand side and wide. 6-3 still the scoreline, Newcastle West by 3 points.
It is Mike Mead and Pat Creed, I think, are the umpires at that side. Yeah, I think that's the first wide for Adare. And you would have to say that it was a difficult free, even though that he had the slight breeze to his back.
Kick out, sent down the centre of the field. James E. Kelly fists it forward, and Mike O'Leary gathers possession of it. Space opens up in front of O'Leary. Now beautiful ball in towards Jamie Lee on the 21. Jamie Lee kicks that one in. Is it gone to the right hand side? It has gone to the right and wide. So that is Newcastle West's first wide by my reckoning. It is first wide of the game for Newcastle West. And that is, well, you see how quickly they move up the field and they sweep up the field, Matt.
Yeah, but it comes from the kick out, and that they won their kick out.
Robbie Burke off towards Hugh Burke. Robbie Burke won the kick out. Hugh Burke through. He's got support from Mikey Lyons. Lyons has it 13 out from goal. Chance of a goal. Mikey Lyons has left it behind him, and it's won by Brian O'Sullivan, but it's into the back of the net. Brian O'Sullivan somehow dropped it, and the goal is counted. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened inside there. It looked as though Adare had initially lost the chance. Brian O'Sullivan had possession of it, and the next thing I looked down at the programme, and the next thing I looked up, and the ball was in the back of the net, and we have a level game, 1-3 to 6 points.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure as to who put it in there, but in the initial chance, Liam, Adare had created a 3-1 situation, and they just fluffed their lines at the last minute, but
kick out.
It has all ended well anyway with the goal.
Kick out won by Cian Sheehan. He was fouled as he went on the run. The referee has awarded a free. It was Hughie Burke that got the goal. He's been accredited with the goal, so Hugh Burke has scored a goal and 3 points for Adare now in this game. And well, that goal, I'm sure the Newcastle West management won't want to look at that, but initially they had a great chance to get the goal, which they managed to somehow butcher through Mikey Lyons, but they've got the goal in the end, and we have a level game. Stephen Kelly kicks this one in for Newcastle West, but it goes to the left hand side and wide. That is second wide of the game now for Newcastle West, and we're still level 1-3 to 6.
Newcastle West, looking back on the entire campaign, Liam, they will see that they have a propensity to concede soft and sloppy goals, and that certainly comes into that category.
Ball down the far side of the field now, and Adare have won possession of it with Stephen Keeley. Plays this one forward towards Mark Connolly. Up against him over there was Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe has given away the free, and Adare take it quickly. The referee though wants it retaken again across on that far uncovered stand side of the Gaelic grounds, and an opportunity here perhaps for Hugh Burke maybe to go over and take this one. If you've just joined us here, we've played 19 minutes of the opening half of the Irish Wire Products County Senior Football Championship final, and what's been a cracking final so far, and the sides are level. 6 points to Newcastle West, a goal and 3 to Adare, and Hugh Burke has this free across on the far uncovered stand side, just about 5 maybe 6 in from the sideline, midway between the 21 and the 45 yard line, and Hugh Burke decided the angle was a bit tight, so he takes it short to Neil Mulville. Mulville back towards Burke again, goes forward on towards the 21, being held up, manages to get the pass away to the loose Adare man. Inside it breaks now, and Mark Connolly has it on the 13 yard line, looks to lay it towards Hughie Burke. The referee has said they've overcarried the ball though, and it's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West, whose defence this time stood strong.
Yeah, it stood strong on this time, but Adare will be very happy to be on level terms, Liam, because Newcastle Newcastle West appeared that there at one stage to have got a run and had gone 3 points clear, and now to get the goal back, it's even Stephen at the moment, but you can see when Adare open it up the type of progress they're able to make and the type of questions they're able to ask Newcastle West.
And Newcastle West have coughed up possession of it on the attack, and it's Adare who bring this one forward now with Jack English, and Adare very quick to counter-attack themselves as Hughie Burke has this one down the far side of the field, just a couple of yards in from that uncovered stand sideline. Good ball across the centre, and Adare working this one well. Paul Maher might get to it. He's taken away from him though by his opposite number, Paul Hannon, and Hannon on the 21-yard line just hacked at that one. It was blocked down, and James E. Kelly won't get to it now, and Newcastle West have somehow managed to lose it. And I'll tell you, Paul Hannon has caught Neil Mulvihill around the neck there, and the referee is going to award a free going in favour of Adare, and perhaps a bit of frustration there, I'd imagine, from Paul Hannon, because a couple of chances Newcastle West had to clear that ball they didn't take, and Paul Hannon gives away the free. And this is going to be an opportunity now for Adare, but it'll be interesting to see what the colour of this card is. It could be yellow or it could be black, because it was around the neck from Paul Hannon on Neil Mulvihill. So Johnny Murphy could very well decide it could be black, but he's decided it's the colour of his jersey, which is yellow, and it's a yellow card for Paul Hannon.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be relieved there that it is yellow, because it could have been bordering on black, certainly, no question. And it's an opportunity now for Adare, and the referee has moved the ball in, so it's a double whammy, and it's an opportunity now for Adare to go in front.
And I'm not sure what the protestations were about for Newcastle West, because it's a fairly blatant free, as the referee has now, as Matt says, advanced that free in. It's midway between the 21 and the 13-yard line, and it's an opportunity here now for Hugh Burke to put Adare into the lead, as Hugh Burke kicks that with the right boot. It's Hugh Burke, a goal and 4 points. Newcastle West 6 points, and Adare into the lead by a single point here at the Gaelic grounds. We're playing 22 minutes of the opening half, and 1-4 to 6 points, and Adare have gotten a goal and a point without reply.
They've got a goal and a point without reply. They will be absolutely thrilled, I would imagine, to be in the position that they are in, because you would have expected an early storm from Newcastle West, and to a certain degree there was, because there were some very good patches of play in that opening 20 minutes by Newcastle West, but the game seems to be bedded down now. But we have to say again, when Adare open it up, they are asking all sorts of questions of Newcastle West. They're dragging them all over the place.
Stephen Nix lays this off as far as Sean Murphy. Nix gets the return hand pass on his own attacking 65-yard line, off towards Brian O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan towards the attacking 45, looks up for the option, finds support from Thomas Quilligan, and Wilson, as he's known out that side of the world, kicks that one in, but it goes to the left hand side and wide. That is the third wide of the game now for Newcastle West. 1 goal and 4 points for Adare, 6 points to Newcastle West, and the stopwatch says 23 minutes played of the opening half. Kick out goes short. Owen Ryan gathers possession of it for Adare, now towards Owen Costello as they come from inside their own 45-yard line. Costello in possession of it, plays this one near side of the field up towards Robbie Burke, out in front of his man. Burke plays this one across on the far side. Adare working from side to side brilliantly as Hugh Burke plays this one inside now. Good ball broken down towards Paul Maher, but thankfully from Newcastle West point of view he couldn't control it, and Stephen Nix comes away with this one off towards Stephen Kelly. Kelly fouls, says the referee, back in his own 45-yard line, free for Newcastle West, which is taken short to Paul Hannon, and Hannon 45 out from his own goal, finds Sean Brown near side of the field towards the defensive 65-yard line. Brown is under pressure from the Adare man, and that's well turned over by Jack English, who lays it now towards Neil Mulvihill. Mulvihill on towards the attacking 45-yard line, finds support from Hugh Burke, 50 out from goal. Hugh Burke looks up and lays this one towards Stephen Keeley across on that far side of the field, about 45 yards out from the goal. Keeley lays this one towards Jack English, and English plays it further back towards David Connolly, midway between the 45 and the 65. Adare going for the patient build up as Connolly plays this one low inside towards Robbie Burke, and Burke gets there ahead of Brian O'Sullivan and turns him and heads towards the 21. Still going Robbie Burke, he kicks this with the left boot and kicks it over the crossbar. Point for Adare and a point for Robbie Burke. It's 1 goal and 5 to 6 points. That's a goal and 2 without reply for Adare.
Yeah, and a very good patch of patient build up play by Adare, and when the opportunity came, Robbie Burke swung it over the bar. So a very, very important score, 1-2 without reply. After falling 3 points behind, it's the ideal response that Harry Gleeson and his backroom team down below us would have absolutely hoped for, and they certainly have got it.
Well, they sure have gotten the perfect response, as Harry Gleeson down here always looks to be the coolest man in the stadium. Self and Jolie on the other side wearing the Bannister bib. Another cool, collected man on the sideline as well, as the kick out is sent down the centre of the field. Up go the hands of Cian Sheehan, breaks this one down. In goes James E. Kelly, tries to win possession of it. Referee has said there's a foul on James E. Kelly. It's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West, and it's Jamesy's brother Stephen who takes it off towards Stephen Nix. Now to Paul Hammond, near side of the field on his own defensive 65-yard line, past halfway towards the attacking 65. 1-5 to 6 points. Newcastle West haven't scored now in 10 minutes of football, as Ian Corbett goes forward with this. Adare in that period have scored a goal and 3 points. The ball near a goal and 2, I should say. Thomas Quilligan hand passes this one. It touched the Adare man, gone for a line ball in favour of Newcastle West, near side of the field, midway between the 45 and the 21. Paul Hannon takes the line ball, lays it back towards his captain Stephen Nix, and Nix heads towards the 45-yard line, finds James E. Kelly, brother Stephen on his shoulder. James E. opts to punt this one long inside towards Mike McMahon. McMahon puts up the hands, gathers possession of it, turns and kicks this one in, but it goes to the left hand side. The umpires, I don't think, are too sure, but they've said it's gone to the right hand side on this occasion and wide, fourth wide of the game.
Newcastle West are struggling a little at the moment to find a response to Adare. Now that was a snapshot from Mike McMahon. It was close, but obviously the umpires delivered long and hard before they indicated it was wide. But certainly Adare are on top. They're enjoying a purple patch at the moment.
I think it's Johnny Crawford, is it, and Vincent Kiley umpiring away to our left hand side. They were the ones that adjudicated. The ball had gone to the right and wide anyway, back with play, and Adare come away with this one now. Jack English lays this one across the centre of the field, and here come Adare now as this ball with Shane Doherty is played low inside, and again the forwards are getting good return inside there. Good work by Mike O'Keefe, gets a flick away, but the Adare man still gathers back possession of it. Jack English now on towards the attacking 45, finds support from Stephen Keeley. Keeley forced back by Mark Connolly to the halfway line, and now David Connolly, the Newcastle West defence, holds them up as Connolly lays this one off as far as Oren Collins. Sean Brown cuts out the attack from a Newcastle West point of view and lays it back towards Mike O'Keefe. Over the door on his back, finds James E. Kelly. The two number 14s up against each other. James E. Kelly against Robbie Burke. Now back towards Mike O'Keefe, and O'Keefe in possession of it midway between his own 21 and 45, finds Mike O'Leary across on that far uncovered stand side of Portnagale this afternoon. O'Leary brings this one forward. 28 minutes played of the opening half here. Mike O'Leary is deemed to have taken too many steps with it free for Adare, which they're in an awful hurry to take. Forward towards Jack English on the halfway line. 1-5 to Adare, 6 points to Newcastle West, a 2-point lead for the Adare men. The ball in the hands of Ian Corbett. He's been fouled now just on the 65-yard line. The referee has awarded a free going in favour of Newcastle West, just outside or inside the 65-yard line. Mike O'Leary is being called over by referee Johnny Murphy. I think he had a word with him about deeming he overcarried the ball across on that far side, and Mike O'Leary, I think, is probably going to pick up a yellow card for a few verbals with referee Johnny Murphy. And that's exactly what he has done.
He certainly has.
So that's the two wing backs now, Mike O'Leary and Paul Hannon, on yellow cards for Newcastle West.
And you would have to say for the last 10 minutes that they are completely on the front foot. Now, Jamie Lee, this is a long free. It's in front of the goal. It's 45 metres out.
He's opted to go short to Ian Corbett and lays it towards Stephen Nix now, and Nix looks up for the option back towards Jamie Lee again down the far side of the field. It goes 2 additional minutes to be added on. Ian Corbett kicks this one in. Newcastle West could do with a score, and Ian Corbett has kicked it to the right hand side and wide. 5th wide of the game.
Yeah, the wides tally is mounting up for Newcastle West at this stage, and I suppose a certain amount of it is the pressure that the Adare defence are putting on him. It's five wides to 1 now at the moment, and for the last quarter of an hour, you would have to say, and on the performance of the last quarter of an hour, that they deserve to be in front.
Serious take in the air from Paul Hannon from the kick out, and he's been awarded the mark, and Hannon just balloons this one forward towards Mike McMahon, who puts up the love and breaks it down towards Jamie Lee with the snapshot, but this one goes to the right hand side and wide. Sixth wide of the game. The wides tally, as you mentioned, Matt, really beginning to mount now for Newcastle West. Sixth wide of the game for them, one wide for Adare, and on the scoreboard 1-5-6 Adare by 2.
Because they're being harassed and forced to kick under pressure, Liam, and that's the second wide in quick succession now, where it was a hurried shot. Jamie Lee got little or no space, little or no time to aim for the target.
1-5-6, the short kick out for Adare, and the referee, I think, has said it's going to be a free out. Jamie Lee it is that has fouled his man inside there. It's going to be a free going in favour of Adare, and an opportunity for them to clear their lines. And Johnny Murphy doing a bit more note taking, a bit more notebook keeping just on the 45 or on the 21 yard line, and Jamie Lee picks up a yellow card. So he's the latest player to pick up a yellow card from referee Johnny Murphy. So that's the third Newcastle West player that has been booked in this county football final so far. The free for Adare, sent up this near side of the field. They're very tight to the sideline, out over the sideline. Brilliant work by James E. Kelly, Thomas Quilligan and Paul Hannon there to force the Adare man out over the sideline. Newcastle West have won a line ball. Sean Brown across on the near side towards Stephen Nix on his own 45 yard line. Nix looks up for the option. He finds Sean Brown near side. Nix though holds on to possession of it, eventually lays it towards Sean Brown, and Brown a couple in from the sideline, off towards Stephen Kelly. Kelly on the 45 yard line sends this ball long inside. Mike McMahon puts up the hand, it breaks behind him though, won by Adare, and Adare bring this one clear, but they've given it away. Mike O'Leary sneaks possession off towards Cian Sheehan, one back there though by Owen Costello for Adare, and now towards Stephen Keeley, and Keeley plays this one forward towards Oren Collins. Collins on the defensive 45 yard line, in possession now with Paul Maher. 45 out from his own goal, cross field ball, beautiful ball, finds Mikey Lyons in space. 65 out from goal, heads towards the attacking 45, up against him Stephen Nix, finds Neil Mulville with the hand pass, back towards Hugh Burke, who scored a goal and 4 points in this game so far. Hugh Burke has been fouled. It's going to be a free going in favour of Adare, 50 yards out from the Newcastle West goal.
Yeah, and it's probably a kickable free. There's a bit of a breeze behind him, and I think it's Robbie Burke that's taking it, who is I think a goal kicker with UL Bohemians in the All-Ireland Rugby League. So 50 metres could possibly be within his compass, and you would have to say, Liam, that it's probably the last action of the half. Now, were they to take even the 2-point lead or the 3-point lead to the dressing room at half time, they will be extremely happy, because they have prevented and Newcastle West haven't scored since the 15th minute in almost 17 minutes of football without a score.
Yeah, that is the situation here at the Gaelic Grounds, as Robbie Burke lines up this, kicks it with the left boot, and as Matt says, that's absolutely no problem at all to Robbie Burke. It is sailed between the uprights, won 6 points, and Adare have scored a goal and 3 points without reply. The half-time whistle blows, and Adare find themselves 3 points to the good. The raging hot favourites are behind by 3 points. That Hugh Burke goal on the 17th minute, the difference between them, won 6 points.
Yeah, Liam, as an overview, we talked about the exciting football that they played in the latter stages of the group stages, in the quarter-final and the replay and in the semi-final, and we were wondering, would they bring it here today? They have brought it here. The answer is most definitely they have. They have worked very, very hard going forward. Once they open it, they have Newcastle West in all sorts of problems, and they're opening it at every opportunity, and particularly down the left, because it appears that Hugh Burke seems to be their go-to man. You would have to say that Adare at half-time won 6 in front. They're full value for their lead. Newcastle West have an awful lot of thinking, an awful lot of soul searching to do. Joe Lee will have to rally his troops at half time. I'm sure down here on our left where Adare, that Harry Gleeson will be absolutely delighted. I would say his players have done everything that they were asked of. They're going in at half time, they're taking in a 3 points lead. They have only kicked one wide. They have maximised their chances. They have back in defence. They have harried and forced Newcastle West, who have at this point in the game kicked 6 wides and kicked them under pressure. There's a lot of soul searching down in the dressing room of the men from the county town, I'm afraid. But of course, there's going to be a response. There is no question about that, and it will come down to how Adare will deal with the Newcastle West response. Now, Newcastle West hit the ground running very, very early on, and Adare coped with it. They were under pressure. They're under pressure from their own kick out. Now they rectified it to a degree by going short more accurately as the half wore on. We're in for an enthralling second half. Now, it has been a decent game of football. It has been a decent county final, and those that came here expecting a decent county final, they will have to put their hands up and say they're getting it so far.
They sure are. Half time here at the Gaelic grounds. It's Adare who lead. The underdogs are ahead 1-6 to 6 points. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with further first half analysis and second half commentary just a couple of moments. Now you're welcome back to the Gaelic grounds here where we're at half time, and Adare lead 1-6 to 6 points here against Newcastle. I don't know why I'm laughing. Adare lead by 3 points here. That goal from Hugh Burke, the difference between the two sides. John Reddington is here with us as well. He's done many a game with us over the course of the season. And John, Adare, we were just saying it off air there, at the moment the better side, 1-6 to 6 points. Newcastle West started well, but Adare have assumed control of this contest.
Yeah. Newcastle got some of the early breaks on it, and they were punishing Adare there because they were running at them. They were opening it up. They were committing a lot of players forward, but and they looked like they were taking control of the game. But then Adare, though, they started to organise a bit better at the back. There was more drop balls and everything, and it was fumbles that gave Newcastle West some of the brace. But once they started themselves out anyway, they had one break up there and got the goal out, and that completely changed the game. And for the second quarter of it there, it was only one side only, and Adare were playing with confidence, they were playing with composure, and they seemed to know what they were doing on it, while Newcastle West then had gone back from dictating the game into just reacting to things. And it's up to Newcastle now to make an impression right on the restart in this one, because if they don't make some move in the first 10 minutes of the second half, the game puts them away from them.
If I was giving you 20 quid now to put on a team, who would it be to put on to win the smart money in order to claim this county title?
Well, you have to look at the scoreboard, and they are leading, and that's 3 points in on the changeover. Newcastle have to make that up, and that's the difference between the sides so far.
Okay, John, thanks indeed for joining us here in the commentary box as Newcastle West are back out for the second half. Adare on their way out as well, away to our left hand side. Doesn't appear to be any change in the Newcastle West team. Just looking down, I think it's the same personnel that started the game that have started the second half, and I would very much doubt, Matt O'Callaghan, if Adare have made a change. I would suggest that they would be very happy with that first 30 odd minutes or so no change in the Adare side either.
Yeah, I would be absolutely surprised if there was any change. There doesn't seem to be a change on either side, actually, Liam. I think it is as you were in personnel wise. Now there may be a few positional switches here and there, but Newcastle West will turn over with the slight breeze, and they had an inclination, I suppose, as the first half wore on, after getting into pole position and going 6-3 up, that they were falling back. We spoke there at one stage where they had 14 players behind the ball, and that was typical old Newcastle West, we'll say, of 12 months ago. And it certainly doesn't suit them. I think from the start of this second half, if Newcastle West are to rescue this, they will have to press forward and maintain it on the front foot right from the throw-in.
Johnny Murphy throws in the ball, and Ian Corbett gathers possession of it for Newcastle West. Long ball in towards Cian Sheehan, breaks this one down, and Sheehan might win it back again, which he does on the 45, but it's gone out of his hands. And over on that far side, Mike McMahon wins possession of it. He's lost it inside there now, and Sean Murphy it was that kicked the ball forward. It goes down the far side of the field, and it's Adare who come away with it now. Across on that far side, in front of the uncovered stand side of the Gaelic grounds this afternoon. It's Paul Maher that is in possession of it. Up against him, Jamesy Kelly, back towards Owen Costello, as Costello plays this one back now, and Adare through hold on to possession of it. I mentioned in the first half that the umpire is to our left hand side, Johnny Crawford, and I thought it was Vincent Kiley. It's in fact Jim Hickey, so just to clarify that it's Jim Hickey and Johnny Crawford umpiring to our left hand side. I mentioned that there was a brief moment of hesitation by both of them as the ball comes out over this near stand sideline. Mike O'Keefe, I think, got the last touch to that. It's going to be a line ball in favour of Adare near side of the field, and Mikey Lyons is going to take this line ball for Adare, which he does, and plays inside towards Hugh Burke, who got a goal and 5 of the total of Adare's a goal and 4, I should say, of Adare's 1-6. Ball back now as far as Mikey Lyons, back across the centre of the field now, and again it's won by Shane Doherty, the captain, just on the 65-yard line. Adare content to hold on to possession of it, just like they did against Drumculloch Broadford at the start of the second half on that semi-final victory. They're going over and back across the field and holding on to it, and David Connolly has it again, just on the halfway line, crossing the far side now, passes halfway, finds has support from Owen Costello over there, opts to lay it back door to Paul Maher, and Maher towards Shane Doherty. Newcastle West just chasing shadows at this moment in time, and Stephen Keeley has possession of it now for Adare, near side of the field, up against Stephen Nix, heads towards the 45-yard line. Out comes Mike O'Keefe, and a good strong challenge by Mike O'Keefe, and he wins back possession of the football for Newcastle West, and then they've lost it again. The referee, though, is playing an advantage. It's going to be a free going in favour of Newcastle West, and an opportunity for them to clear their lines. But a good challenge by Mike O'Keefe.
Yeah, very, very good interception by Mike O'Keefe. It's not the first time that he has done it in this game, Liam. You will recall in the first half he made a very, very important and timely interception. Good cornerback play by Mike O'Keefe. Now there's an Adare player down injured here at the moment. I'm trying to see who is it. It isn't anything very serious, but he just needs a little bit of attention, and the game is held up until he gets back on his feet. He's getting a rub of the magic bottle there. It looks like
it could be Paul Maher, I think.
It is Paul Maher, actually. It is Paul Maher.
Yeah. So Paul Maher is now back to his feet. So play to resume with a free for Newcastle West. Jamesy Kelly to take it midway between the 45 and 65. Lays this one towards Brian O'Sullivan, who comes away to the halfway line and finds Thomas Quilligan near stand side of the Gaelic grounds this afternoon. Heads towards the halfway line and now lays it towards Jamesy Kelly near side, only a couple of yards in from the sideline. Plays this ball forward towards Jamie Lee, who's out in front of his man. 21 out from goal. Lee has possession of it, looks up one way, kicks this with the left boot. It's going to drop in and around. Mike McMahon punches it but couldn't get a hold of it though, Newcastle West, and Adare come away with this one now on the 21-yard line, and that is Neil Mulvihill off as far as Mikey Lyons, back across the centre as Adare come forward with this, and Mikey Lyons on halfway, long ball delivered inside, up Mark Connolly against Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe gathers possession of it, and O'Keefe lays this one now towards Paul Hannon, who's across on the far side of the field towards Stephen Nix, and Nix is in possession of it and hand passes this one towards Ian Corbett, now towards Jamesy Kelly on the halfway line. Kelly looks to take on his man, that was Jack English. English has fouled Jamesy Kelly, free for Newcastle West on their own attacking 65-yard line. Free back towards Sean Brown, now forward towards Thomas Quilligan, 65 yards out from goal. Thomas Quilligan looks up for the option, opts to go route one towards Mike McMahon. Up goes Mike Mack, 4 Adare men around him, and the ball won by Oren Collins, and Collins plays this towards Mikey Lyons, back inside his own 45-yard line, and Adare just seemed to have the number of Mike Mack inside there when there's long ball delivered into him. This time Stephen Keeley comes away with it down the far side of the field. They come with it now, and again it's Hugh Burke who plays this one towards the far uncovered stand side. Robbie Burke has it just a yard in from the sideline. Robbie Burke goes forward on towards the 21, kicks this with the left boot, but the effort is poor. It goes to the left hand side and wide. Only Adare's second wide of the game. 1-6 to 6 points still the scoreline, Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah, you're right. They have placed Mike McMahon on the edge of the square, or he goes in when they're in an attacking position on the hope of lofting it in. They've got very little change out of it at the moment, because Adare are breaking the ball and they're there in numbers to pick up the break and counteract him. He's out around the middle now.
He is, and he's won the kick out and lays it towards Cian Sheehan, near side of the field. Sheehan on the defensive 65-yard line towards Sean Brown. Back to Cian Sheehan, past halfway towards the attacking 65. Foul, says the referee, by Paul Maher, and the free going in favour of Newcastle West, which Cian Sheehan wanted to take quickly, but the referee has a bit of no-keeping duty to do, and he's going to have a chat with Paul Maher, and I think Paul Maher is probably going to be the first Adare player to be yellow carded in this season's County Senior Football Championship final. He is indeed, Paul Maher. Of course, the sponsors of the championship, Irish Wire Products, Paddy Mulvihill, a very proud Adare man, of course, was senior football manager of Adare, and indeed Limerick football manager as well for quite a few seasons. As the ball with Ian Corbett now, lays it off near side of the field. Thomas Quilligan, 45 yards out from goal, looks up and plays a crossfield ball to Jamesy Kelly. Jamesy, 45 out, kicks this with the right boot, but it goes way to the left hand side and wide. That's wasteful from Jamesy Kelly, the 7th wide of the game for Newcastle West.
7th wide of the game, and he just ballooned it, didn't look up. But in fairness, Liam, there were very, very few options. But the thing to do on that occasion was to try and hold it up and hope that a bit of support would come.
6 minutes played of the second half. Kick out comes down this near side. Jamesy Kelly gathers possession of it for Newcastle West, heads to the 45, lays it towards the brother Stephen. Stephen is on the edge of the semicircle, running on to it. Ian Corbett on the 21. Chance of a goal for Corbett! Yes, he's got it to the back of the net! Level game. Ian Corbett with an explosive finish, and we're level at the Gaelic grounds. 1-6 apiece. Super finish.
Absolutely super finish. Absolutely super goal. Fantastic build up by the Kelly brothers in picking out Ian Corbett. And when Ian Corbett thunders in on goal like that, there invariably is only one result. An absolutely excellent goal. This is a huge morale boosting goal for Newcastle West now. Now the trick is for Newcastle West, do they drive on and build on it, or do they allow Adare to get back into it? We're in for a very, very interesting, maybe the defining 10 minutes of the game. It's there for both sides. We've 38 minutes gone almost. It's a question of who'll take it by the scruff of the neck. Now Newcastle West look like bringing
double
the changes.
Double change. Thomas Quilligan has come off down here beneath us. AJ O'Connor is going on to replace him, and Donegal Woods is coming on to the field of play as well. So we'll tell you who's going off for Donegal Woods. So AJ O'Connor replaces Thomas Quilligan. That's that. Change number 1, and change number 2 we'll see Donegal Woods wearing number 18 come on to the field of play as well down here beneath us, as the fourth official just gets the numbers up. 18 is on, and coming off is Sean Murphy wearing number 12. So double substitution for Newcastle West just after scoring the levelling goal. 1-6 apiece now as the kick out comes from James Hickey. Down the centre of the field it goes, brilliantly taken in the air by Stephen Keeley, and the referee awards the mark. Plays it towards Robbie Burke, and Burke goes forward towards the attacking 45-yard line. Under pressure from Stephen Nix, Robbie Burke can pass off towards Jack English. English kicks this with the left boot, but he has ballooned it way to the right hand side and wide. Just a third wide of the game for Adare. Level still, 1-6 apiece.
Level still. Now that was a good build up by Adare, but it was actually poor execution, because Jack English did have the time, looked up, but he just made the total wrong connection.
1-6 each, 38 minutes and 47 seconds played here at Portningale this afternoon. A game on Limerick's Live 95 FM in association with Limerick Motor Centre. Main Hyundai dealers out there in the Ballysimon Road. The ball with Ian Corbett midway between the 45 and 65. Fouled as he delivered it to Donegal Woods. Referee awards the free. Mike McMahon takes it quickly forward towards Jamie Lee. Wasn't the best of frees now, but Stephen Kelly picks up possession of it. 45 out from goal. Now towards the brother Jamesy. Jamesy goes forward, plays this one towards this near side, and trying to keep it in play was Paul Hannon. Too much on it though, and it comes out over this near stand sideline for a line ball in favour of Adare. 1 goal and 6 for Adare, 1 goal and 6 for Newcastle West. Parity up the Gaelic grounds with 9.5 minutes of the second half played in this year's county final. The line ball was won by Adare. They've coughed up possession of it. Mike McMahon couldn't gather it though. In goes Stephen Kelly, and AJ O'Connor going in, fouling Owen Ryan. The referee has awarded a free going in favour of Adare, but there's an injury to an Adare player inside there in the full back line, and Jamie Lee has gone down injured as well. So a couple of injuries, one for either side. So play's been stopped by referee Johnny Murphy. 1-6 apiece, 10 minutes now played in the second half. Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah, and the game is delicately poised, and certainly it's played at a very, very good pace. What we saw in the first 30 minutes we're seeing again in the second half, and like the 10 minutes of the second half has yielded only just one score, but what a score, what in terms of execution and also in terms of importance. It looks as if the Adare player is okay, and it looks as if Jamie Lee is okay, and I think we'll resume with a free to Adare, is it? Yes, we are.
Yeah, free for Adare is right. Adare are making a change now down here beneath us. They are bringing on number 24, who is Shane O'Connor, and he's replacing Owen Costello on the Adare team. So Owen Costello comes off. That's a rejigging exercise now, because it looks as though Neil Mulville has gone back into the backs, and Owen Costello has made way for an injury as he makes his way off down here beneath us. Harry Gleeson gives him a good pat in the back as Adare now gather possession of this and come away with it on the 45-yard line. It's David Connolly who has possession of it as he sends this one towards the far side. Forward now from Owen Ryan up the far side, and one, I think Robbie Burke has won that one. Lays it off now as far as Neil Mulville. Mulville towards the attacking 45-yard line. The run has been continued by Adare across on the far side, and that is Shane Doherty. Lays this one back towards Hughie Burke, and Burke 45 yards out from goal. 1-6 apiece if you've just joined us in the County Senior Football Championship final for 2017. Newcastle West and Adare inseparable at this moment in time, as Stephen Keeley has it. Lays the ball back to Neil Mulville. Adare being forced back now by Egon O'Connor, and Newcastle West holding them up. Hugh Burke in possession of it now. Burke forward, he goes on towards the attacking 45-yard line. Still Hugh Burke, and Mike O'Keefe is back there to steal back possession of it. Good patient defence by Newcastle West, it has to be said, as they come away with it now. And Mike O'Keefe off towards Brian O'Sullivan towards Cian Sheehan, and Sheehan off towards the defensive 65-yard line. Under a bit of pressure is from his opposite number, Mikey Lyons. Cian Sheehan, I think, has overcarried the ball. Referee Johnny Murphy has said play away. The ball is spilled loose, and Cian Sheehan beautifully flicks it up into the arms of Stephen Nix. Now James E. Kelly across the centre of the field it goes, and brought away by Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe hand passes this one towards Cian Sheehan. Mike O'Keefe, a better footballer than he is a quiz teammate member anyway, as we found out on Friday night, as Mike McMahon plays this one towards Brian O'Sullivan across on the far side. Now towards Ian Corbett, forward towards the attacking 45. Still going Ian Corbett, one of these marauding runs. He's been held up by three Adare men. Supporter eyes from Donegal Woods. Now to Jamie Lee, back to Donegal Woods again. 45 out from goal onto 21. Chips this one in. Nobody at home though from a Newcastle West point of view, and the goalkeeper James Hickey comes away with this one. Frenetic is how I think you'd describe the opening 12 minutes of the second half here. One score is all we've gotten from either side. That's a goal for Newcastle West. 1-6 to 1-6. Ball with Adare across on the far side as they come forward on towards the attacking 21-yard line. Mikey Lyons in possession of it. Still Mikey Lyons off towards Robbie Burke. Burke slipped as he took the shot, and it's safely into the arms of Andrew Ruddle, the goalkeeper for Newcastle West, and now they come down the field. It's end-to-end stuff here at the Gaelic grounds. James E. Kelly to Mike O'Leary, now towards that is Ian Corbett, back in his own 65-yard line to Stephen Kelly. Kelly in possession of it, 65 yards out from goal, past halfway towards the attacking 65. He's lost the football, but he's time to regather it, and he takes it to contact, and Hugh Burke spills it out of his arms, and now it's Adare who come forward. This passage of play seems to be going on for the past hour. Stephen Keeley in possession of it. Keeley lays this one now towards that was Jack English, as English towards Hughie Burke again, 45 yards out from goal. Burke looks up and plays a delightful ball inside, held by Mikey Lyons. Kick in from the left boot, it's in, and it's over the crossbar. Is it? It is, from the boot of Mikey Lyons. 1-7 to 1-6. It was a delightful pass into the passage of Mike Lyons, and he's put it over the crossbar. 14 minutes played of the second half. Matt O'Callaghan, Adare by 1.
Yeah, Adare by 1. It took Adare 14 minutes to get their first score of the second half, but I suppose it was worth waiting for, because it was a patient. Oh, what a catch by Mike McMahon!
And the mark from Mike McMahon just about finds Cian Sheehan, and Sheehan goes forward on towards the attacking 45. He's left the ball behind him, gathers it back again though, and now lays it towards AJ O'Connor, near side of the field. Finds support from Jamie Lee, a couple in from the sideline. 40 out from goal. Jamie Lee looks up for the option, back towards Mike McMahon. McMahon towards Stephen Nix, screaming for it across on the far side is Donegal Woods, but Stephen Nix holds on to possession of it, still going forward this one. Now it's Ian Corbett in possession now. Paul Hannon rushes onto it on the 13, now towards Stephen Kelly, 13 out from goal. Kelly is fouled, surely that has to be a free in. Referee says no, fist across the centre, and the goalkeeper gathers it, and Stephen Nix seemed to have fouled the goalkeeper. I'm biased, Matt O'Callaghan, but I thought that should have been a free in.
Yeah, I thought that there appeared from here to be a free earlier on, certainly, but I suppose the referee left play go on. Maybe it's the advantage, Liam, and maybe you're biased.
Maybe I am. The free going in favour of Adare now for a foul by Jamesy Kelly. The referee has awarded a free going in favour of Adare back in their own 45-yard line. Newcastle West are making a change. Owen Murphy is going to come on the field of play. So Owen Murphy is coming on. We'll see, and he's replacing Brian O'Sullivan. So that is the change in the full back line for Newcastle West. Brian O'Sullivan comes off and Owen Murphy comes on. 45 minutes and 48 seconds played in this season's County Senior Football Decider. 1-7-1-6, and you said to me, Matt O'Callaghan, we could all be back here again next Sunday for a replay.
Yeah, we possibly could. It's the year of the draw. It's the year of the draw. We've had a draw already this morning in the Junior A football semi-finals.
Which nobody knew about.
One of those games, a secret. But we had 3 out of 4 games last week drawn with the County Junior A hurling final yesterday drawn.
And the man in the middle today was the man in the middle for that County Junior A hurling final that ended level yesterday. Well, time will tell. Anyway, back with play. Adare take the free short, and they've just about worked it through Paul Maher, and well, they've overcarried it now. Good work over there by Paul Hannon to put pressure on the Adare man. The referee has awarded a free going in favour of Newcastle West, which is taken towards Stephen Nix, who looks up now and finds Jamesy Kelly on the attacking 65. A bit of space opens up in front of Jamesy. He's got Ian Corbett on his shoulder. Jamesy goes for the point himself, but that goes to the left hand side and wide. He'd be disappointed with that. The 8th wide of the game for Newcastle West, Matt.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed, and I think Newcastle West will be disappointed overall, because they had the tonic of what was an excellent work goal and an excellent finish goal by Ian Corbett, and that is, you know, it's over 10 minutes ago, and they have not only failed to score, but they just haven't seemed to have driven on.
Kick out sent down this near side of the field. It's won by Adare, and Robbie Burke has possession of it. Cross towards Neil Mulvihill, who goes forward with this one. Jamesy Kelly up against him. Hand pass towards Robbie Burke. Burke has support across the centre. Shane Doherty onto the 21. Further out now to Jack English. English further out towards Hughie Burke. Burke with the shot. Brilliant save by Andrew Ruddle. Back to Burke again, who fists it in and fists it over the crossbar. But Adare sweeping up the field in this counter attack, and it's over the crossbar, and it's Hughie Burke that has gotten another point for him. 1-8 to 1-6, a 2-point lead now for Adare.
Yeah, but that absolute movement now really characterises what makes Adare so exciting to watch. Absolutely, people running all over the place, everything done at pace, everything done at purpose, and in the end it could have been a goal, but the execution for the point was excellent by Hugh Burke. He's having a stormer here for Adare today.
Newcastle West in trouble, I'll tell you. Egan O'Connor sends this ball inside now towards Mark Connolly, down the far side of the field towards Hugh Burke, further out towards Mikey Lyons, and Lyons 13 yards out from goal, weaves one way then the other, kicks this with the boot, and it goes in and over the crossbar. Super score from Mikey Lyons, absolutely top class score. 1-9-1-6, a 3-point lead for Adare, and they're thoroughly deserving of a 3 in a row for them.
And 2 of those 3 points have come from Mikey Lyons. He certainly has put his stamp in the second half, no question about it.
19 minutes played of the second half. What a take from Mike McMahon in the middle of the field. Referee has awarded him the mark, and it's taken to Jamie Lee. Lee near side, heads forward towards the attacking 45-yard line. Questions now being asked of Newcastle West as Jamie Lee boots that one in. That's a fine score from Jamie Lee, a much needed one as well, may I just add. 1-9 to 1-7. Newcastle West going to make a change. Mike Quilligan going to come on the field of play. We played 19 minutes of the second half. 1-9 to 1-7. Mike Quilligan comes on. Stephen Kelly is the man that's making way for Newcastle West. 1-9 to 1-7. A 2-point lead for the underdogs.
Yeah, an excellent point there. An excellent catch by Mike McMahon. That's 2 in a row that he has picked off. But Liam, again, it's the quality, the pinpoint quality of the kick out from Andrew Ruddle. We spoke about it in the semi-final.
Mike McMahon plays this one towards Donegal Woods, near side of the field. Now towards Mike Quilligan, back towards Donegal Woods. The substitutes combine. It's in the hands of AJ O'Connor. The substitutes combine. AJ O'Connor off the upright and comes back down. And first to react to it is Shane Doherty. And Doherty plays it near side. Referee has given a free out in favour of Adare for a foul by AJ O'Connor. I thought his effort was going to hit the upright and fall in. It hit the upright and came back out, and well, on such margins like that, our game's decided. 1-9, 1-7, 12-10 in terms of points, and the stopwatch will tell us that there is 50 minutes and 30 seconds played. 9.5 minutes left here, Matt O'Callaghan. 2-point lead for Adare.
I know we're up here from it, Liam, but looking down immediately below us, the body language, you could cut the tension down on the sideline now at the moment. It is really, really tense here. And we have a quality game of football on hands.
1-9, 1-7. Free for Adare is brought away now towards the 21-yard line. Mike McMahon tries to halt the run of Owen Ryan. Lays this one off. Egon O'Connor under a bit of pressure. Off towards Stephen Keeley, and Keeley under pressure plays this one back towards Shane Doherty. Doherty gathers possession of it on the 13-yard line. Hand pass to the goalkeeper James Hickey, and Hickey further out towards Hughie Burke, and Burke launches an attack from deep inside his own half across on that far uncovered stand side. Support from Owen Ryan and Adare. Well, we saw them in the semi-final victory against Drumbroadford. When they build a lead, they're well able to retain possession of it and hold on to it and frustrate the opposition. They have a 2-point lead here now, and they have a line ball across on the far side with Mikey Lyons to be taken for Adare. Off as far as Stephen Keeley. Keeley 45 out from his own goal, or from the Newcastle West goal. Mikey Lyons plays it towards Neil Mulvihill, near side of the field. Mulvihill looks up for the options, decides to take on a run. Hand pass inside now, finds Mark Connolly, and the referee said a foul once the ball was released. It's a free for Adare, about 30 out from goal, and an opportunity for them at an angle for Hughie Burke to put Adare 3 points to the good. 1-9, 1-7 at the moment, and an opportunity here to put, well, what would be 3 between them, Matt O'Callaghan?
Yeah, absolutely, and you would have to say it is within Hugh Burke's compass, but without one, it's a not good enough angle for a right-footed kicker. It's not straightforward, Liam, let's say.
I'll say nothing, because I'll be accused of putting the commentators' curse on him if I talk it up. He's 21 yards out. He kicks this with the right boot, does Hughie Burke, but he is sent it to the right-hand side and wide. Fourth wide of the game from an Adare point of view. Their third of the second half. 8-4 in the wides count. 1-7, 1-9. 1-9 to Adare, 1-7 Newcastle West.
That kick certainly wasn't as easy as it looked. Here we go again, look.
7 minutes to play. Mike McMahon rises above everybody but can't control the football. Mikey Lyons gathers possession of it for Adare, off towards Stephen Keeley, and Keeley comes forward with this one, lays it near side of the field where Adare go forward, up towards the attacking 45-yard line. Jack English lays it towards Mikey Lyons, being put under awful pressure by Mike O'Leary. The referee has said he was being held. It's going to be a free going in favour of Adare. Harry Gleeson, the Adare manager, is on the field just having a word with his team, telling them perhaps to slow it down. Are Adare on the verge of their first ever county senior football championship title? It would be some story if they were. The free goes backwards towards Jack English, who gathers possession of it and plays this one now towards fullback Egon O'Connor. Even the 3 on his back in the attacking 65-yard line. Now towards Hugh Burke. Burke down the far side of the field. Hand pass over there, goes to hand, and Adare have it. 21, 13 out from goal. It's Shane Doherty that has it. A couple in from the sideline, off towards Hugh Burke. Burke towards Mark Connolly. Connolly kicks this one in, but he's kicked it to the right and wide. 5th wide of the game for Adare. They're catching up in Newcastle West, who've kicked 8.
Yeah, that you would have to say that was a chance missed. I think he hurried his shot on that occasion, and
Ball is taken from the kick out and sent near side of the field. Mike Quilligan goes in to try and win possession of it. Ball has come out over this near stand sideline and gone for a line ball in favour of Newcastle West, but I think the referee is going to award a free anyway. There's a substitution going to be made. Adare bringing on Andy O'Connell. He's coming on to the field of play. So Andy O'Connell is on. Not quite sure who's going off.
Paul Maher, I think.
It's Paul Maher, you're dead right. So Andy O'Connell for Paul Maher. That's the substitution. We've got 5 minutes of normal time left, plus whatever referee Johnny Murphy is going to add on here at the Gaelic Grounds this afternoon. Jamie Lee takes the free to Stephen Nix. Back to Jamie Lee, and Lee on the attacking 45-yard line. Back towards Nix again. Now Jamie Lee in possession of it. 45 out from goal towards Cian Sheehan. Further out towards Mike Quilligan. Near stand side of the field. 2 points between them. 1-7 Newcastle West. 1-9 Adare in the County Senior Football Final with 4 minutes left here. James E. Kelly on towards the 21-yard line. Dinks it over to nobody in particular, and it's Adare who come away with it with Andy O'Connell on his own 45-yard line. Comes away with this one, met by Jamie Lee. Lays this one towards Neil Mulville, tight to the sideline. Ball comes out over, doesn't. Jamie Lee keeps it in play. He's forced out over the sideline, pushed out over it, says the referee. Free for Newcastle West. Jamie Lee to take it. 1-9-1-7. 4 minutes and 12 seconds of normal time left here. Jamie Lee takes the free, short back towards Ian Corbett, and Corbett 45 yards out from the Adare goal, looks to go forward with this one. Space opens up in front of him. Ian Corbett, Newcastle West could do with a score. They've gotten one from the captain of Limerick. 1-9 to 1-8. One between them again, Matt O'Callaghan. Newcastle West back to within one.
Back to within one. You'd have to say, Liam, this is probably the biggest 4 or 5 minutes or whatever is left in Newcastle West season, but probably the biggest 4 or 5 minutes in the history of Adare football. This is a huge 5 minutes. I still stick to my prediction. It could be a draw.
Is won by Ian Corbett. Corbett off towards Mike Quilligan. Quilligan kicks this with the right boot. It's looking good, is it? It is. Yes, we are level. Mike Quilligan with the point. A super effort from a long way out, and Mike Quilligan has levelled things up. The substitute, 26 and a half minutes, 3 in a row for Newcastle West, has brought us level, Matt.
Yeah, three in a row, and you would have to say that Ian Corbett was very central to the last two. He scored the second last one, and he certainly led on the perfect pass there from Mike Quilligan. But Mike Quilligan had a bit of work to do, and he did it so well.
Owen Hurley has come on. Mike McMahon has gone off. Mike McMahon has covered every blade of grass on this pitch today. Owen Hurley replaces him. Kick out won by Adare. Here they come on the attack with Robbie Burke heading towards the attacking 45. Level game, 1-9 apiece at the Gaelic Grounds. The ball in the hands of Mark Connolly. The Ops to shovel this one out across the centre. Further out near side, it's come out over this near stand sideline and gone for a line ball for Newcastle West. Well, I'll tell you one thing for nothing. If there was any nails to be eaten, they're going to be eaten in the last 2.5 minutes. No doubt about that. Newcastle West and Adare supporters can hardly watch. 2.5 minutes left here at the Gaelic Grounds. An injury to an Adare player in the centre of the field.
The mentors whose job it is to watch, they can hardly watch either. I can see them burying their heads in their hands. But you're right, Harry Gleeson has remained quite cool below on the sideline from an Adare point of view, as has Jolie at the other side, in fairness. But the other mentors, it's just all too much here at the moment.
It sure is. It's getting a bit too much for a lot of people here. Johnny Murphy, the referee, just having a word with the linesman Martin Doherty on this near side of the field about something that has happened. Well, 2 minutes, 1 minute and 45 seconds left at the Gaelic Grounds. Level pegging, 1-9 apiece at Portningale. Newcastle West 1-9, Adare 1-9, free or for a line ball for Newcastle West, which is taken, and Stephen Nix has it inside his own half. Here's where experience comes into it. Adare, of course, just up from intermediate, have won counties at under 21 level. Newcastle West, quite a lot of these players have medals from 2 seasons back in the senior grade. On that occasion, it was an easier victory against Drumculliher Broadford than it's been here this afternoon. The ball with Paul Hannon down the far side of the field towards AJ O'Connor, one of the younger statesmen on the field this afternoon. Back towards Jamie Lee, 45 out from goal. Jamie Lee puts the boot to it, dropping into the hands of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is James Hickey. 4 additional minutes to be added on. Oh God, and 1 minute of normal time left. 5 minutes left in the County Senior Football Championship final. Adare have won a free on their own 21-yard line.
Yeah, that last effort by Jamie Lee was spot on target, but it was into the hands of James Hickey. Had he got a couple of more yards on it, Newcastle West could have been ahead. It was an excellent kick, actually.
Level game, ball sent near side of the field, and gathering possession of it is Shane Doherty on towards the attacking 65-yard line for Adare. Now onto the 45, lays this one back across the centre. Adare through Jack English in possession of it. Newcastle West funneling bodies back, just trying to avoid Adare getting the score with Mikey Lyons. Now to David Connolly, further out the far side of the field towards Stephen Keeley. Keeley further up now towards Robbie Burke. Burke is 21 out from goal, kicks this with the left boot, drops into the arms of the goalkeeper Andrew Ruddle. And can Newcastle West start an attack? 2 seconds of the 4 minutes have elapsed of stoppage time. We're into stoppage time in the County Senior Football Final. We're level at 1-9 apiece. Cian Sheehan has been fouled on his own defensive 45. Free for Newcastle West and an opportunity for them to launch an attack from well inside their own half. Is there going to be a winner in the County Senior Football Final? Will everybody be back here at the Gaelic Grounds next week for a replay? Ian Corbett towards the far side towards Paul Hannon. Hannon 45 yards out from goal, goes forward this one. Paul Hannon on towards the 21, being held up by Hughie Burke on the far side. Still Hannon, his shot is blocked by Hugh Burke, comes back to Paul Hannon. Left footed effort from Paul Hannon. Has he kicked the leading score? He has! Paul Hannon puts Newcastle West into the lead, 1-10 to 1-9, and the nephew of the Newcastle West manager could very well have kicked a crucial score, Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah, absolutely crucial score at this stage. Now they'll have to find a response and find it quicker, but they are attacking immediately.
They are. Mark Connolly down the far side of the field is this one towards Stephen Keeley. Keeley in possession of it across the centre, finds Robbie Burke. Burke in possession midway between the 45 and 65 towards Hughie Burke. Down the far side, he's on the 21 and the 13 along the end line. Still Hughie Burke, still Hughie Burke. Jack English, shot, goal for Adare! Jack English with the goal for Adare, and the place has gone bananas at the Gaelic Grounds.
What a goal, Liam. What an absolute goal. And what work done by Hugh Burke. Absolutely, the way he held it up, timed the offload to perfection to Jack English, and what a finish. An absolute bullet to the Newcastle West net.
2-9-1-10, a 2-point lead for Adare. They've coughed up possession of it, and Ian Corbett has been fouled on his own 45-yard line. 2-9-1-10. Oh, 15-13. A black card for Mikey Lyons for pulling down Ian Corbett. Mikey Lyons has gone off, a black card for him. 2-9 to 1-10.
At this point, Liam, he'll take it for the team, no question about it.
Is there to be more late drama? Ian Corbett with the free inside his own 65-yard line. Newcastle West trail by 2. 2-9 to 1-10. What was it? 4 minutes of stoppage time, wasn't it? 2.5 gone. 90 seconds left here at the Gaelic Grounds. Jamie Lee towards Mike Quilligan. Quilligan back towards Stephen Nix, who in turn now finds Ian Corbett heading towards the edge of the semicircle. Corbett lays this towards Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe flighting this one in. Is it going to go to the right? The answer to that is yes, it has gone right and wide. 9th wide of the game for Newcastle West, and Adare are bringing on down here beneath us Charlie McCarthy for the black card. So Charlie McCarthy gone on, Mikey Lyons gone off for the black card. 2-9-1-10. Adare by 2 points. 1 minute of normal of stoppage time left here, and Adare, Matt O'Callaghan on the verge.
Yeah, well, you'd have to say they're less than a minute away now. Possession is going to be vital with this kick out, and it's a fine kick out.
Down the centre, well won by Hughie Burke in the middle of the field, and Burke goes forward with this towards the attacking 65. Adare by 2 points. Hugh Burke towards Neil Mulvihill. Mulvihill out the far side. Opportunity here. The shot goes in, and it goes over the crossbar. It's a 3-point lead for Adare, and it's Charlie McCarthy that has gotten it. 2-10-1-10. A 3-point lead. Adare Adare are on the verge of their first ever County Senior Football Championship title. 3 minutes and 49 seconds of the stoppage time have elapsed. Can Newcastle West get a goal to level things up? Mike Quilligan has possession of it inside his own half. Forward towards Jamie Lee, 45 yards out towards James E. Kelly on the 21. Kelly in possession of it. AJ O'Connor looking for it across the centre. Kelly flights it in. Fists go up. It breaks to Ian Corbett. Chance blocked. Back towards Keane Sheehan. Touched on the ground. Free out. Oh, and with that goes the last chance, I'd imagine. Free out for Adare. Ian Corbett's shot was blocked and Keane Sheehan touched it on the ground. It's a free out for Adare. The 4 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed. The Adare substitutes are all on the sideline down here beneath us. The ball is kicked towards this near side. It's won by Neil Mulvell. He's been fouled on his own 45-yard line. Free for Adare. History beckons for Adare. Newcastle West going to be defeated. They came in as raging hot favourites for this year's county championship final. Johnny Murphy is awarded another free for Adare inside their own 45-yard line. It looks as though history it is. The final whistle blows and Adare, in their first season back in Senior Football Championship, have won the County Senior Football title 210 to 110. It's Adare's first ever title. Congratulations to them. They, Matt O'Callaghan, are the county champions, and on the balance of play today, they deserved it.
They deserve it, absolutely, Liam. We're living out a fairy tale here in front of us. This has been a fairy tale finish to the Limerick Championship for 2017 for Adare. We said at the very outset that if Adare played the game rather than played the occasion, and that is exactly what they did. Now, they were hit by a thunderbolt of a goal by Ian Corbett there at a critical stage in the second half. They came back and went 3 points ahead again. Newcastle West came back late in the game, hit over 3 points in a row, looked as if they had the momentum with them, but Adare found another gear. And you would have to say, and John Reddington is here with us, that I think that the decisive goal, the execution of the decisive goal was absolutely excellent. Hugh Burke, he rode a couple of tackles, held it up, looked to have lost it, timed his offload to perfection, and the finish from Jack English, there wasn't a goalkeeper in the world would have saved it. He bellowed the Newcastle West net out of it. You would have to say the way they responded when the challenge was laid to them a number of times during the course of the game, the way they responded. The challenge was put to them very, very early on in the first 15 or 20 minutes. An effort made to dent their confidence. It didn't work. They rose above it. And you would have to say that very few people, anybody in this ground today, will begrudge Adare their success. And even yourself, Liam, you're one of the most partisan, I suppose, from Newcastle West, and rightly so. It's your native place. But I think you will be forced to put your hand up and say, well done, Adare.
Certainly they thoroughly deserved it today, and the scenes that are out in the field as the Adare players are jumping up and down chanting Championes, Championes. Well, they've won many a club hurling title out there, but their first ever County Senior Football Championship title, and deserving of it as well. You mentioned John Reddington is here with us, and John, you spoke to us at half time and you said Adare were ahead and that they were looking good perhaps for the county championship. Ian Corbett levelled things up in the 7th minute of the second half. Newcastle West went ahead on the 31st minute, but that goal from Jack English, worthy of winning any county title.
Yeah, Adare just worked harder today. There was the biggest difference between them. Every 15 Adare players, they went in, not only when they had the ball were they coming up in support, but they were challenging. They were, when they were out of possession anyway, and they made it very, very difficult to Newcastle to use the ball. The goal could have knocked them, but I thought right through the composure maybe to come back from the setbacks like that, but whether Newcastle could lift the gear and get ahead of them. They nearly did there just at the end, just coming up to full time, but before the goal. But and Adare had these 2 easy points chances just before that to put to stretch. There was an easy free missed and there was another shot inside. But the goal, it looked like coming in a way in that they didn't have that more energy. You could see that right from start to finish in it. Newcastle never had 15 players fully fired at any time. You obviously had a couple of places, where they weren't tracking back, or a couple of places, where they weren't putting enough pressure on it, and that was the difference really between.
She's one of the weakest of all, Pepper, her son and Sartre, what she's doing in you. Ladies and gentlemen, may first of all congratulate both teams for giving us an excellently entertaining and sporting game of football in today's county senior football final here at the Gaelic grounds. Today is a historic day for Adare winning their first senior football county title. Today wasn't your day. You're a great football team. You left everything on the pitch. You died for the cause, and I'm sure you'll be back again. Take law again. And I thank our officials today. Without whom we wouldn't be able to continue playing our games. And I'd ask you to give a warm round of applause to Johnny Murphy and his officials. The caretakers and the groundsmen here at the Gaelic grounds. This pitch has seen numerous games in recent days in very difficult conditions, and Eugene and Winnie had the place in fantastic form today, so you might show your appreciation for them, please. Finally, on behalf of the Limerick Football Board and the County Board, I want to thank our very, very generous sponsor, and that is Paddy Mulville of Irish Welfare. Paddy has been more than generous to us over the last number of years, and I know today is extra special for him with the family connections and with his own club, Adare, winning their first senior title. So many thanks, Paddy. And now, without further ado, I'm going to ask our sponsor of the Irish Fire Products County Senior Football Championship to present the Father Casey Cup to a gallant Adare captain, Shane Doherty.
I'll be honest, I did not prepare anything because I didn't really continue, but if you told me this time last year that I'd be standing up here taking this cup, some of us probably would have laughed at you, some of us would have believed you, and I think management is definitely the one who definitely would have believed it. All I can say is, it is the biggest honour of my life to stand up here and represent this team, to live the first ever senior football championship in Ireland! I'd like to start off by thanking just everyone here to get a ground for the beach in great condition. Look, the weather hasn't been great the last couple of days, but it was brilliant out there, we couldn't fault it. I'd like to thank everyone in the county board for organising the full football championship. It ran seamlessly this year. I'd like to give a huge, very special thank you to the Limerick Senior Football Championship sponsor, Paddy Bundle here of Irish Fire Products. I'd like to thank everyone on the county board who organised all the press launches, everything to do with this. I'd like to thank our whole management team. We have Pat O'Connor, we have Dave Larman, we have Peter Rally helped out today, Ron Keller, we have Joe Reddington, Harry. Give me a chance here, Paddy, will you please? I'd like to thank Dave Larman, everyone who's involved in this show. But he got us in the right condition for today. He didn't doubt us once, not once over the last few weeks he doubted us. He always said we would win this, and sure enough we've done it today. I'd like to give just a special mention to a man who's brought us a long way this year. He taught us a lot from the very start of the year, right up until today, and we owe a lot for lifting this cup today, and that's Jerome Stack. I'd like to give a huge thanks to Jerome Stack. I'd like to thank our team manager this time last year when I was giving this speech. I may have said that he didn't know a whole pile about football. He still doesn't know a whole pile about football, but we're not complaining. Second cup, second game in a row, so a big huge thank you for Harry Keeson. I'd like to give probably the most special thank you to one man who is he's probably the biggest football man in there. Every single training session we have, he's there before every player, he's there with the water bottle, he's there with bids, anything we need. There'll be nobody even there as happy as Johnny Burke will be today. So I'd like to give a thanks to everybody in the club in there, Johan and Sean Scanlon. Look, we know there's a huge amount of work goes behind the scenes. Everyone else who's involved in the committee, we know you work tirelessly throughout the year to make days like this special, to make them happen. So big thank you to everyone in the club. I'd like to give a huge thanks to the club sponsors, Sean Collins, Rhoda, Bill Chalks, obviously he's on our jerseys. A huge thanks to Bill Chalks, Supermax and Verona Coffee. They supported us for the last year and including Woodland, the lads keep throwing on there. So huge thank you to all the sponsors of the club. I'd like to thank Patty Lyons, he was in tireless effort to blow the keep her right on there, so a huge thanks to Patty Lyons. Finally, I'd like to thank Newcastle West. Look, anytime you play in Newcastle West, they're always fierce competitors. Doesn't matter what sport you play, they will always be there to the bitter end than you were again today. But keep up a huge battle. You've been up there with the top few teams delivered for the last few years, so there's no doubt you'll be back up here soon enough. So 3 cheers to Newcastle West.
Where's the goal?